I think looking back on it, if Jackie was 10 years older, maybe a bit wiser, I think he would have resigned as soon as his contract details were exposed. Because after that, he was pretty much a lame duck. The fans had turned against him.
Were they right to turn against him because of that?
I think Mixu will do really well to do what Jackie did in his time at United, get to 2 cup finals, bring in the amount of money that he did in transfers. And he certainly didn't deserve the humiliation of being sacked the way that it was handled at McDermott Park right after the game in which they lost. But that was simply of their problem, because they're playing against 10 men. They were 1 goal up and lost at 2-1. So clearly there was a lot going wrong, and I think United were always going to make the change.
We saw Chiefchi scoring the winner for Celtic yesterday. On a general basis, should a club stand by a development manager when the stars have been sold and the development stage starts again?
Whether you're a development manager, whether you're a head coach, whether you're just a manager in name, of course you should get a bit more time. I look at Alan Archibald and the job that he's done at Partick Thistle, Martin Canning at Hamilton Accies. These guys are working with the least resources in the league, and they're coming up with results, keeping their teams consistently above that danger line. And that's why it's such a big game for United today, because yesterday Thistle went and got 3 points, Kilmarnock got 3 points, as you mentioned. So it's important that United get back, give themselves a bit of breathing space now.
What does Mixu Paatelainen need from his team now, and what do we know about Mixu? Is he the guy to get it?
When I look at Dundee United, and I'm not a Dundee United fan, I get angry because they've got so many talented players, but they've got very little heart. They're all very nice, they all play nice football, and I think they've got a lack of desire, a lack of will to win, a lack of aggression, but they're nice. And sometimes that is just acceptable here at Tannadice. It's not good enough. I think there's more talent in that dressing room, and it's up to the players to show that they can play with a bit of consistency, they can get results, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of changes that Mixu makes in his opening few weeks.
Well, let's gauge his mood now. He's in his office at the moment where he's talking to Luke Shanley.
Mixu, you've been in the job a few days now. What have you changed? What have you tried to implement to your team?
Well, obviously, what I spoke earlier, I want the tough mentality from the players and that extra dig on the pitch, and obviously we've been working tactically a lot on the training ground. But also, I have my weekly routine a little bit different when the boys are off and that, and if they're off at all in certain cases, and so the boys know now that it is change days, and we go my way. But no, it's. In the end of the day, you want to discuss with the players and to make sure the players are happy, whatever changes you make and what you want to implement on them. And so everybody has to be comfortable what they do and what's been asked.
How tough a first game is this against Heart of Midlothian?
Very difficult. Hearts are riding high, playing well. They are a team that really gel together. They've got a couple of changes in today's lineup, but I don't think that changes anything. They have their style of play and they stick to that. And that's our first game. It's always a question mark, although we have prepared, and I think that the boys have a rough idea how we want to go about. But it's so early doors. A couple of training sessions before the match, preparation. That's not enough preparation time. So, but I want to see that spirit and willingness and desire to win. And if we do that, maybe the skill will shine and we'll do well.
We wish you luck.
Thank you.
Well, from what Mixu said there, Andy, what does John Souttar there need to deliver for him?
He just needs to deliver more. I mean, he's 19, he's already got a good number of games under his belt. He's attracting a bit of attention from clubs down in England. I go to games in England often, David, and we talk about, when I see coaches, managers, scouts, we talk about Scottish football, his name constantly comes up. But people always question his desire, his will to win, his aggression. He certainly needs to be a bit more aggressive. I think that's why he was taken out of the position that he initially occupied.
He's still only 19.
He's still only 19, but look at his height, his physique, his strength. I think he needs to use that a bit more and show that he can compete with some of the better players in Scotland. And I think that's why he was taken out of the firing line when he was a centre-back. He's not aggressive enough. He's not dominant enough. He's one of these players at Dundee United. He's a nice player. He needs to get away from that and he needs to try and dominate games. I think he's got the ability to do so much more, and it's not enough just to sit back and coast through a game. I think there's a lot more to come from John Souttar, and it has to go down to his determination.
Well, 15 years ago this week, Mixu Paatelainen scored a famous hat-trick in an Edinburgh derby. Can he get another win, this time for Dundee United against Hearts? Opposite number, Robbie Nielsen is enjoying life in the top 6. It's been a sound start to life back in the Premiership for them. We'll get Robbie's thoughts on the first quarter and this one when we return next. The Hearts fans have travelled to Tannadice today, and it's our live game from the Ladbrokes Premiership. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, and the Twitter handle is @ScotlandSky. Now, before the teams come out, let's speak to the Hearts head coach, Robbie Nielsen.
Robbie, how do you try and re-find that winning form of earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think that the performance has been good. I think against Kilmarnock recently, we played really well, created a lot of chances but didn't take them. We hope we can do that again today, but take the chances and hopefully get the 3 points and, as you say, get back to winning ways.
With a new head coach in the home dugout, what impact will that have?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they set up. I've got an idea of how I think they'll play. I think there'll be a little bit more energy about the team as they try and prove themselves to the new manager, but it's about us today coming up here, and if we perform, then I'm confident we can take the 3 points.
All the best.
Thank you. Cheers.
Should the Hearts fans and Robbie Nielsen be pleased with what they've seen so far in the Premiership?
Yeah, I think they're a top 4 side. I think they've made that transition from the Championship up into the Premiership with a bit of ease. They started so well, and of course they've had 1 or 2 blips. They were really weak at home against Aberdeen, which was a bit of a surprise, but they showed they've got a bit of character. Went to Celtic Park, got a 0-0 draw. They've got a lot of talent in their team, a lot of good young, well, more than a few good young Scottish players. Nicholson, I think, is terrific. McGee's going to play today. They've got Walker and King on the bench. You get a chance if you come through at Tynecastle. That has been shown throughout the years, and I think Robbie will be happy with the way that a lot of those young players are developing.
You mentioned Sam Nicholson there. What is it that's so special about him? Why do you think he's the best of a decent bunch at Hearts?
He takes players out of the game, which is exactly what you want to see. And whether it's on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, I think he's comfortable. If he went down this left-hand touchline, he'd be quite happy to get to the byline and throw in a cross with his left foot. Equally, if he was playing in the right, he'd go down that right side and get a cross in with his right foot. If he's playing in the middle, he's happy to go and commit his immediate opponent, take him out of the game, get shots away, set up his teammates. He's got a lot of talent, and I think you have to be given that licence in the last third to go and make something happen. So often you come up against packed defences. Here's a player that will take a chance, try something. He's got a bit of imagination, and that's why he's played so many games already as a 20-year-old for Hearts.
You mentioned top 4 in relation to Hearts. Mixu said this week when he took the job that his ambition was the target was to avoid relegation. Should he be aiming higher than that?
Yeah, I think privately he'll be aiming higher, but of course they've got the first job, get away from the bottom of the table, get away from that playoff spot. That's not where United want to be doing any of their business, and I think in time he will lift them up the table. There's too much talent here, but I'll go back to it again, David. They have to show it. They have to stop being nice and start delivering big results.
As the teams come out, call this one then.
I fancy Hearts today.
OK, Dundee United fans will not like that, but